everybody, it's Kelly here. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time. Welcome back if you've been before. Lovely to have you either way. On this channel we talk books, and today I am in a new location. I am on a trip at the moment, and I thought because this is what I always do when I'm on a trip, is I always buy far too many books, mostly secondhand, because I've got a few little haunts that I like to go to when I'm away. I usually head in the same direction when I'm going away, and at the moment I'm staying in a place that I've stayed before, near Milton in the south of New South Wales, if you know the area. It's really beautiful here, rolling hills, birds everywhere. I've been really getting into watching the birds like an old person. And I am excited about it. It's great. I like being an old person, it's great. Okay, so let's get into the books. I have purchased quite a few books. Very few of them are new. I did go to the independent bookshops in the areas where I've been staying, because I'm in my second location for this trip so far. First of all, stayed near Kiama on the south coast, and then I've gone a bit further south. I'm now staying near Milton. So I went to the two independent bookshops that are in those two vague locations that I know of. There might be others. Let me know if you've got hot tips of where I can get books in those areas. But I just didn't, nothing was kind of jumping out at me. I'm trying to be a bit more conscious about the books I'm buying new. I'm conscious about them a lot, but I'm trying not to let myself get drawn in and buy new books that I just see for the first time in a bookshop. So I am taking note and I'm thinking about it, and then I'm buying the book. So when I go to a bookshop now, I'm looking for books that are already on my TBR that I'm excited about. So having said that, I really only purchased one that fits that category, and another one that was on special, on sale, which I'll show you a bit later, that I didn't know existed, but I now have. So the one that I purchased new is this one, The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Katherine Arden. So she wrote the Bear and the Nightingale series. I can't remember what the series is called. Winter Night, maybe? Winter Night Trilogy. I've read 2 of the 3 of those. I've got to read the 3rd one at some point. But this is another, not in that series, but same author book that I was excited about. So this one says, in a world torn apart by war, a brother and sister fight to find each other. November 1917, Canadian soldier Freddie Ivan awakes after an explosion to find himself trapped under an overturned pillbox alongside an enemy soldier, a German. Against all odds, the two men dig their way out. But once in no man's land, they realise there is nowhere they can go where they won't be shot as deserters or enemy combatants. As the killing continues, they meet a man known as the Fiddler, who seems to have the power to make the hellscape that surrounds them disappear. So this is really an author by, something I'm just excited about because I have loved Katherine Arden's writing before. So yeah, excited to get to this one at some point. But yeah, realistically, this was the only new book that I've purchased that was off my TBR. Okay, let's have a look now at some secondhand books. Actually, let me tell you the second one. So this was the only other one that I purchased new, and it's a children's book, Clarice Bean Scram. So I read several of the Clarice Bean books years and years ago, and I really, really liked them. So when I found this one, which I haven't read before and I didn't know existed, I just on a whim purchased it because it was $7. So it was on a table, a reduced price table. So I picked that one up. But that's the only other one that I've picked up. I really love Lauren Child's writing, and I love the way that she writes her kid characters, because they sort of feel very real to me. I really like them, and they're kind of quirky and cute. So yeah, that's my other new purchase. All right, so everything else I'm going to show you today is a secondhand book that I've picked up at my various locations that I like to visit while I'm away down the south coast, because there are several really great secondhand book shops, as well as sort of your Vinnies and your Salvos, op shops, opportunity shops, as we call them here in Australia. what would you call them in other places? I've heard them referred to as other things. We call them op shops. Secondhand shops, you know, the ones that sort of have just general stuff, not specifically book ones. But these ones that I go to often have pretty good book sections, and I'm usually able to find bits and pieces around about the place. So I went to the Vinnies and the Salvos in Kiama. I stopped in at Berry and went to the Vinnies there and got a couple of books. I went, when I came further south, I went to the Vinnies and the Salvos in Ulladulla, as well as there is a specialty secondhand book shop in Ulladulla as well, run by the Lions Club. So I went to that one as well. So yeah, quite a few different locations. I will not be able to remember exactly where I got all of them, which ones went where, so I'm just going to show them to you now. So this one I was quite excited about. It is one of the Penguin Clothbound editions, and it's A Christmas Carol and Other Christmas Writings by Charles Dickens. So A Christmas Carol is a 5-star book for me, although I have only ever read an abridged version, so I've never actually read the full Christmas Carol, but I really enjoyed the writing. I have tried Dickens at other times and haven't loved it, and have abandoned it, but maybe I've just not read the right ones. So if you've got any Dickens recommendations, please put them down in the comments. But I did really love A Christmas Carol, the abridged version that I have read before. So this has A Christmas Carol in it, but it also has other Christmassy writings. So A Christmas Carol is obviously like the biggest part, but then there are other short stories. So Christmas Festivities, The Story of the Goblins Who Stole a Sexton, A Christmas Episode from Master Humphrey's Clock, The Haunted Man and the Ghost's Bargain, A Christmas Tree, What Christmas Is as We Grow Older, and The Seven Poor Travellers. So those are the Christmas writings that are in this book. And I'm just excited to have this in my Christmas collection because I do try to read Christmassy stuff around Christmas time. So this will be great to add to that. This one I was quite interested in. The Call of Cthulhu and Other Stories. How do you say that? Is it Cthulhu or just Cthulhu? Anyway, let me know down in the comments if you know how to pronounce this correctly. So this is a H.P. Lovecraft. I do already own a little bit of Lovecraft and I'm sort of interested in, I've read a bit of Lovecraft, but this one just looked like a cool addition. Yeah, so actually I think The Call of Cthulhu is the one that I have already read. Yeah, I reckon so. But there's quite a few different little sections in here. Yeah, a few different short stories. The Nameless City, Herbert West Reanimator, The Hound, The Lurking Fear, The Rats in the Walls, The Festival, The Shunned House, The Horror at Red Hook, He, The Call of Cthulhu, and The History of the Necronomicon. I can't say that word. Necronomicon. Yeah. So I got this for $3 at Vinnie's, so that was a bargain. All right, the next one is a book that I have read, which I don't know if you can see that on the corner. I got this for $2. And it's David Golder by Irene Nemirovsky. Now I have I have read Sweet Francais that Irene Nemirovsky wrote. I read it a long time ago. A friend of mine gave me her copy. So she had read it and loved it, and then she gave me her copy, which I still have somewhere. So yeah, and I remember, like I'm going to say I read this book like 20 years ago. It was a long time ago. But I remember really enjoying the writing and the characterization in that book. So this one is quite a short one, and I found it, as I said, for $2. So I thought I'll grab it. So yeah, this was written in 1930, and this has been translated as well. Let me just find the translator's name. So it's translated from the French by Sandra Smith, with an introduction by Patrick Marnham. So this edition was published in 2007. So yeah, that would have probably been roughly like maybe a little bit before that I read Suite Francais. So yeah, about the same time. Maybe this came out at the same time. But yeah, so yeah, now I have this as well. So let me tell you a little bit about this one. So in 1929, 26-year-old Irene Nemirovsky shot to fame in France with the publication of her second novel, David Golder. At the time, only the most prescient would have predicted the events that led to her extraordinary final novel, Suite Francais, and her death at Auschwitz. Yet the clues are there in this astonishingly mature story of an elderly Jewish businessman who has sold his soul. Golder is a superb creation. Born into poverty on the Black Sea, he has clawed his way to fabulous wealth by speculating on gold and oil. When the novel opens, he is at work in his magnificent Parisian apartment, while his wife and beloved daughter Joyce spend his money at their villa in Biarritz. But Golder's security is fragile. For years he has defended his business interests from cutthroat competitors. Now his health is beginning to show the strain. As his body betrays him, so too do his wife and child, leaving him to decide which to pursue, revenge or altruism. So, sounds really interesting, and as I said, I've enjoyed Irene Nemirovsky's writing before. This was an exciting find, Weyward by Amelia Hart. This is a book I've had on my TBR for some time now. So yeah, I'm really excited that I was able to find a copy for really cheap. So this one says, Kate, 2019. Kate flees London, abandoning everything for Cumbria and Weyward Cottage, inherited from her great aunt. There a secret lurks in the bones of the house, hidden ever since the witch hunts of the 17th century. Violet, 1942. Violet is more interested in collecting insects and climbing trees than in becoming a proper young lady, until a chain of shocking events changes her life forever. Altha, 1619. Altha is on trial for witchcraft, accused of killing a local man. Known for her uncanny connection with nature and animals, she is a threat that must be eliminated. But wayward women belong to the wild, and they cannot be tamed. So this just sounds really cool, and I'm excited to now have this in my collection. Another one that I was able to pick up was this one for $4, really cheap. Carpentaria by Alexis Wright. I sort of and about this book. My mum has read it, and she enjoyed it, but she said it was a lot, and the writing style is, and maybe structurally, if memory serves, it's a bit odd. So yeah, I think I have to be in the right frame of mind to read this one. But I'm just about to start reading Alexis Wright's Praiseworthy, which is her most recent publication. But this is like her classic one that has won awards and so on, and has been around for a long time. So Carpentaria is Alexis Wright's second novel, an epic set in the Gulf country of northwestern Queensland. The novel's portrait of life in the precariously settled coastal town of Desperance centres on the powerful Phantom family, leader of the West End Prickle Bush people, and its battles with old Joseph Midnight's renegade East End mob on the one hand, and the white officials of Uptown and the neighbouring Gurferet mine on the other. Wright's storytelling is operatic and surreal, a blend of myth and scripture, politics and farce. The novel teems with extraordinary characters: the outcast saviour Elias Smith, the religious zealot Mozzie Fishman, the murderous Mayor Bruiser, the moth-ridden Captain Nikolai Finn, the activist Will Phantom, and above all, the rulers of the family, the Queen of the Rubbish Dump, and the fish-embalming King of Time, Angel Day, and Normal Phantom. Figures of such an intense imagining, they stand like giants in this storm-swept world. So that is Carpentaria by Alexis Wright, and at some point I will read this, but I'm just glad to have it in my collection because I know that I will at some point get to it. This was another exciting find, mainly because it is specifically Heartstopper Volume 3, because I own Heartstopper Volume 1, which I bought new. Then I found Heartstopper Volume 2 secondhand, and now I found Volume 3, so that's exciting just to add to the collection. So this is by Alice Osman. I don't really need to tell you what this is about because if you haven't heard of Heartstopper, I don't know where you've been. But yeah, so this is exciting to have this now in my collection about a gay relationship. It's a graphic novel, in case you didn't know. So yeah, I'm excited to now have this one. Obviously, I will have to read the other two first before I get to this one, but we'll get to it at some point. And the other adult fiction one that I bought, although that probably is more like teen fiction. What do you call that? YA. So perhaps should have gone with the other YA books that I'm going to show you later. Is this one, The Naturalist of Amsterdam by Melissa Ashley. So this one says, Amsterdam at the turn of the 18th century. For as long as she can remember, Dorothea Graff has lived in service to her mother, Maria Sibylla Merian, one of the greatest naturalists in Europe. But as she collects insects and colours illustrations for Maria's world-famous publications, Dorothea longs for a life that is truly her own. When Maria becomes entranced by the plant and insect life of Suriname, she is determined to record it for herself, taking Dorothea with her. All the family savings are ploughed into the dangerous expedition, but greatness is never achieved without sacrifice. The metamorphosis of the insects of Suriname will be Maria's masterpiece, but ensuring its legacy and her own survival will become her daughter's burden. When offered a chance of happiness, will Dorothea have the courage to take it and risk everything her mother built? From the jungles of South America to the bustling artist studios of Amsterdam, the Naturalist of Amsterdam gives voice to the long-ignored women who shaped our understanding of the natural world, both the artists and those who made their work possible. So those are my adult fiction finds. Moving on now to some more YA. I found this copy of Linger by Maggie Stiefvater. Stiefvater? I have no idea how to say her surname, I'm so sorry. So I recently bought this one for my cousin's daughter who is in high school, and she really enjoyed reading Twilight, and I went online and I found a list of books to try if you really enjoyed Twilight, and this was on the list, and this is the one I decided to buy for her, and I've just found a secondhand copy. So this one says, The Longing. Once Grace and Sam have found each other, they know they must fight to stay together. For Sam, this means a reckoning with his werewolf past. For Grace, it means facing a future that is less and less certain. Into their world comes a new wolf named Cole, whose past is full of hurt and danger. He is wrestling with his own demons, embracing the life of a wolf while denying the ties of being human. For Grace, Sam and Cole, life is a constant struggle between two forces, wolf and human, with love bearing its two sides as well. It is harrowing and euphoric, freeing and entrapping, enticing and alarming. As their world falls apart, love is what lingers, but will it be enough? So I believe this is part of a series. There's a couple of them in the series, but I think this is the first one. It doesn't specifically say. I'm sure it's a series though. Yeah, so the next one is called, oh no, this is the second one. Shiver. Okay, so Shiver might have been the one that I bought for my my cousin's daughter. So this is actually the second one. Oh well, I guess maybe I will pass this on to her then if she was interested in the first one. And then the third one looks like it's called Forever. So at the time of the publishing of this copy, Forever hadn't yet come out, but that was back in 2011. So it's been a while. The cool thing about this is that the print inside is green to match the cover, which is really cool. I don't think I've ever seen a book printed in green. Very interesting. So that is Linger by Maggie St Vater. I'm so sorry. I'm sure I said that wrong. The other one, and this is another book that has been on my TBR for some time, that is a YA, is this one, A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Now I feel like I've read a Naomi Novik before. What has Naomi Novik published? Spinning Silver? I feel like I've read Spinning Silver maybe. Yeah, I might have read Spinning Silver. I have to go back and double check that. But yeah, this is, so I believe this was, I found this on a list of, you liked Harry Potter, but you don't want to support J.K. Rowling anymore. What other magical school books are there? So this one is all about a magical school. So it says, enter a school of magic unlike any you have ever encountered. There are no teachers, no holidays, friendships are purely strategic, and the odds of survival are never equal. Once you're inside, there are only two ways out. You graduate or you die. Ella Higgins is uniquely prepared for the school's many dangers. She may be without allies, but she possesses a dark power strong enough to level mountains and wipe out untold millions. Never mind easily destroy the countless monsters that prowl the school. Except she might accidentally kill all the other students too, so Ella's trying her hardest not to use it. That is, unless she has no other choice. So this is part of a series called the Scholomance series. At least in this edition, I think it might be a trilogy. So there's A Deadly Education, which is this one, and The Last Graduate. So potentially a third one has also been published since this. But yeah, so excited to have that now in my collection as well, and I will at some point get to reading that one. Okay, the remainder of the books that I've got that could be described as for generations that are not my own are probably more middle grade sort of books. So I found this one called Diva and Flea, A Parisian Tale, as told and shown by Mo Willems and Tony Ditolizzi. So this is like a little illustrated story with some beautiful illustrations. I just really like Mo Willems. I've really enjoyed he writes the Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus children's book series, which I really like. He's sort of got a good wry sense of humour, which I enjoy. So yeah, I was excited to find that. I didn't know this existed, so now I do, and now I've got it. This one is Fogodox by Bruce Pascoe. Bruce Pascoe wrote Dark Emu, which I read a couple of years ago now. He has a new book out as well, which I have my eye on. The name of which escapes me at the moment, and I will put it up on the screen. But Fogodox is one of his children's books. It says, trapped at home and under strict orders from the doctors, young Maria is forced to watch the wild world she loves from her window. In a nearby forest, Albert Cutts and his dingo dog Brim live quiet lives until a simple act of kindness changes everything. A gentle tale of courage, acceptance and respect. Fogodox shows the strength of true friendship. So this is just a tiny little thing, but yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. This one is The Girl with the Dragon Heart. This is by Stephanie Burgess. And this one looks like it is the second in a series. The first, it says also available The Dragon with a Chocolate Heart, so that might be the first one. But yeah, this just looked really cute. I was drawn to the cover. The illustration is really beautiful. It's got silver foil. And it says, Silky has a gift of 4 words for talking herself out of trouble or into it, and now she's in big trouble. She has one chance left to save her lost parents from the fairies who stole them away, one chance to finally find a place to call home, but will her words fail her when it counts the most? So yeah, that just looked really cute. I have really no idea what it's about, but we might give it a go at some point. And then I got a little stack of the Enola Holmes books. It does not have number 1, but that doesn't matter because I've already read number 1. I haven't read any of the others, and this has got numbers 2 through 6, which are The Case of the Left-Handed Lady, The Case of Bizarre Bouquets, The Case of the Peculiar Pink Fan, The Case of the Cryptic Crinoline, and The Case of the Disappearing Duchess. So I was very pleased to find those. They were $4 each, so that was a bargain. And I quite liked the first Enola Holmes, so I thought I'd give these ones a go as well. Last 2 to show you are 2 non-fiction books, and one I've already extensively used, and that's this one, Lizards of Australia, A Naturalist's Guide to the Lizards of Australia by Scott and Thais Iper. This is put out by Australian Geographic, and at the place where I was staying near Kiama, there were so many lizards in the garden, and so I've already used this book to help identify what the lizards were, with a little bit of help from my mum, who is like the animal and bird knowledge person in my house. I don't live with my mum, in my family. So this has been really good. It's very helpful. It has good descriptions. Would already highly recommend. And then the other one, which I picked up just at Ulladulla at the Vinnies is Ladies We Need to Talk by Yumi Stynes and Claudine Ryan. Apparently these two have a podcast on the ABC, which I have not ever heard before. I don't mind. Yumi Stynes, I've seen her on TV a fair bit. Years and years ago. I don't really watch that much TV now, but I know she's around about and she does lots of different things. And it's the subtitle is Everything We're Not Saying About Bodies, Health, Sex and Relationships, and the word not is crossed out. I don't know if you can see that. There's lots of things. I won't read out all of the things in here. Actually, yes, I'll just read you this little blurb. Ladies, we need to talk breaks the stigma around the things women are thinking but not saying. Yumi Stynes and Claudine Ryan cover the trickiest taboo topics from the ABC's hit podcast, from bodies and mental health to sex and relationships. The Ladies We Need to Talk podcast has been tearing open the sealed section on life for years, but host Yumi Stynes and co-creator Claudine Ryan know there's still way more to say. In this book, they dive further into the podcast topics that resonated most and open the conversation further to include personal stories from listeners, all with sensitivity, hilarity, and serious smarts. So this sounds really good. They have all sorts of different topics that they cover in this book. So for example, chapter 1 is What's in My Undies? Chapter 2, The Quest for the Clitoris. Chapter 3, Our Pelvic Floor. Chapter 4, Whatever Happened to Pubes? So all sorts of interesting things, and there are 15 different chapters, which I won't go through all of those for you, but you get the idea. It's all about stuff that we don't really talk about that often. It's a little bit taboo. So yeah, that should be really good. All right, everybody, that is the haul. That's the haul for my holidays. I have found lots and lots of amazing books and have spent not that much money acquiring them, which has been great. That's what I love. I love a good hunt when I am out and about on my holidays. I love going to the secondhand shops and finding great stuff. So chat to me down in the comments if you like about any of the books that I found. Let me know what you think I should prioritise in my TBR. Have you read it? You think it's amazing? Have you read it and you think it's awful and you think I should just donate it back to the secondhand shop? Please let me know down in the comments. Would love to chat to you down there. Also, feel free to subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. We do lots of book stuff on this channel, including wrap-ups and occasionally TBRs, vlogs sometimes, and of course book hauls. So please, if you would love to watch more of that, hit the subscribe button so that you can get notified when I have new content out, which is usually every week. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye!